Dr. Fauci is now telling us that 2 masks are better than 1. That's the new story right now. This whole thing is, and the issue behind the masks have completely become a joke. Just a big joke. So, a quote from Dr. Fauci, which honestly his opinion is irrelevant at this point. He says, "So if you have a physical covering with one layer, you put on another layer. It just makes common sense that it would likely be more effective. And that's the reason why you see people either double masking or doing a version of an N95. There's nothing common sense about this. It's just assuming. You're using some assumption that if the first mask is somewhat effective, that 2 must be. That's why I'm making kind of the joke, 2 masks are better than 1. Because that's basically what this has turned into, is a massive joke. And he's saying, basically, whatever makes you feel better. It feels better to have 2 masks on, so therefore it's fine. I'm going to tell the whole world that must be so much better. This doesn't sound like a doctor's talking to anybody at this point. This doesn't sound like a doctor to me. This sounds like somebody who's just saying whatever it is that they feel on any given day of the week and just hoping that people just go along with it. Keep in mind, this was a recent report as well. Dr. Fauci made $417,000 in 2019, which basically ranks him as, what is it saying here, the highest paid doctor in the federal government, but the highest paid out of all 4 million federal employees. And this is the same guy who cost millions of Americans their jobs because it was him that was pushing the lockdowns like crazy. He makes more than a president does. I mean, granted, of course, Donald Trump didn't take his salary anyways, but as far as what Biden's getting, he's making more than presidents do. That doesn't make sense at all. The salary is not proportionate to what this guy is actually doing, especially when he keeps flipping and changing everything that he's saying. If you recall, this is a quote directly from him last spring. He said, "Right now, people should not be walking around. There's no reason to be walking around with a mask." Then he said, "When you're in the middle of an outbreak, wearing a mask might make people feel a little bit better, and it might even block a droplet. It's not providing the perfect protection that people think it is." This was just last year. And then, of course, he flipped his position the second that there were disagreements between him and Trump. Dr. Fauci doesn't know what in the world he's talking about. He changes and flips, and how are we supposed to trust what he's saying anyway? So, I mean, he's lost all of his credibility with anybody that's paying attention to what he's saying. I mean, the Democrats would only agree with what he was saying as long as it agreed with or lined up with what the Democrats believed in. But they'll ignore everything that he said as soon as it doesn't line up with what they agree with. So what now? What's next? What is the next kind of ultimate protection that we're going to see? May I recommend the triple mask? Actually, why not the quadruple mask? I mean, to be honest with you, at this point, we just keep adding masks, and I think overall, after a while, it'll be impossible to get the virus because you won't be able to breathe. That's effectively what this is boiling down to. It's just more and more and more and more and more. Do a normal lockdown, more lockdowns. I'm surprised they haven't even done instead of 6 feet apart, 10 feet or 12 feet or 15 feet. How about 20 feet, 50 feet apart? Soon we'll just all get restraining orders and just never be around anybody ever. And that would just guarantee that nothing happens. Once again, this is the world according to Dr. Fauci, always setting himself up to contradict what he said previously and ruining his credibility every single time he opens his mouth. You just watched a clip from the William Hall Show. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe.